All right, thanks for joining everyone. Today we're going to be going through the new client questionnaire. So many of you have probably used this in a paper form or you're sending it out electronically, but it might be a PDF or a Word document like the one shown on this screen here. So we've got a way now that we could do this all online, and it makes it a lot easier for a client to fill out online without having to print it out and try and scan it back in some way, or to fiddle around and do it on their computer. Also, it makes it the client doing it on their mobile phone a lot easier as well, which with these old paper forms would be almost impossible to do. All right, so as we go through this, there'll be 3 ways to use this new form. One will be allow the client to complete this form after they've contacted you via your website. The next will be to send them out a link directly in some other form of email correspondence you might have. That could be with your bulk email system or any other kind of email communication. And the last way to do it is to have the client already in iGyro and then send them a notification from there to complete the survey. So I'll get this out of the way because we won't need this one anymore. Alrighty, so this is just our INH website. I've gone to our contact page here. So we'll go through that first method of actually capturing that client questionnaire. All right, so what will happen here is they'll jump in, fill out the form as per usual. And the subject. All right, so simple as that, and that's what your clients are used to doing. We haven't changed the way that this works. This message will still come to you as usual, and the email address that they enter here will still end up in your email marketing system. So I'll click send to send that through. Now this is a new page here, so anyone that fills out that form will now get to this next page. So you've already got an email with their correspondence like you normally would. But they get this page here asking them to get started sooner, or if they'd like to get started sooner, complete this form. So we've relabeled that client questionnaire to just help us help you. We've had some feedback that it seems like we're interrogating the client if we tell them that we're giving them a client questionnaire to complete. So hopefully this is a bit softer and we'll get a bit more take up in filling this form in. So help us help you. The client will click on complete form. It'll take them to this page, and you'll notice here, because they've already filled in their details on your contact page, it's filled out this first lot of details for us. So first name, last name, phone, and email address. They do have an option to change it if they've made some sort of a typo or mistake in that. The next thing we're capturing here is their site address. So hopefully they have one. They might have a block of land. If not, they can skip these things. Only these fields that are marked with these red asterisks are required. So they can put their details in. Obviously that first question here is if they don't have land, where are they looking for? So they might fill that out and put in some sort of an estate. All right, as they continue, we've got checkboxes so they can select multiple items here. So what style of home do you require? Select all that apply. So they might want a 2-story home, maybe a granny flat. Do you have plans? So if they've already had some plans drawn up, they can indicate so. And then what type of plans they are. All right, so all these questions are designed at qualifying or helping to qualify your client. So you can see here, they've got an option to tell you when they're anticipating to build. So after sale of existing, it might be a fairly long shot potentially. If they want to do ASAP or 3 to 6 months, they might be a pretty hot client that you need to stay in touch with. Obviously, these are some more qualifying questions here, minimum and maximum budgets. So these are fields you can type numbers in, obviously, that's what we're expecting, but it's also just a plain text field as well. So that allows the client to not only type numbers in, but they can type a little bit of extra explanation in there as well. So we turned this on yesterday. We've already had 2 clients fill it out, and at least one of them put some additional words in this maximum budget to explain why that's their maximum. Do you have council approval? Yes or no? Have you built before? I'll say no. I'll leave this one blank to show you what happens with that a little bit later. But we've also just got this free-form text here just to list some more details. So once they get to the bottom, the client will submit that. And they're taken straight back to the website, pretty much where they left, and given the options for these feature ads. So hopefully they'll continue browsing and look through the rest of your site here. All right, so that's the first step. So now we'll jump in to the iGyro portal and I'll show you what's happened here. So I'm logged into the iGyro portal here. And you might not have caught that, but we just ended up with this extra button here, questionnaire complete. So historically, we've gone from prospect, interested client, prelim service fee paid, contract signed and on site. So now if we start using this questionnaire complete option here, this new button will turn up as soon as you get your first client through. If we click on that, this is the client that completed that form for us. And you'll notice what it's done here is it's actually put a contact or contacted client task in here with a due date. So it's at that point in time. So essentially it's saying you should immediately contact this client. It's up to you when you do, depending on how you run your business. So if you click onto that, you can see that's the comment's been put in here. Contact client, client questionnaire. Alrighty, it's added a job number automatically for us to help keep track of all of your clients and entered the address details for us. So we click into this client now. Again, we'll see all the details it's put in. We've got a site address which the client has entered for you. This job was never in the system previously. We'll go to client contacts. The contact is in here with their email address and phone number. In tasks here, we've got the first contact and the task let us know that the questionnaire has already been completed for this client. And obviously this is the contacted client with a due date on that we spoke about a little while ago. One thing I skipped over was business contacts. So again, it's assigned a default sales consultant to this as well. So every group has one. If you find that it turns up to the wrong person, let me know and we can try and adjust that so it goes to the right person in your business. Right, so that's all pretty standard stuff. The client has essentially created the job for themselves and it's in your iGyro ready to go. So with those due dates for the contacted client, you will also get your notification. So you get an email notification and it will be on your dashboard of the sales consultant to follow this up. All right, this is a new section here. So this is where the surveys live. So here we've got the Help Us, Help You survey and a bit of description about what the form was about. So we click on that. And what we see here is all the answers from the client. So they ticked both of these, 2-story and granny flat. So they're the only options that are showing for these. We can see our budgets, the planning to build time frame, and any other information that they've entered. So pretty straightforward. All right, feel free to ask any questions, guys, as we're going. If you've got any burning questions, either type in the question and answer box there or put your hand up and we can allow you to talk. So we've just gone through now, that's the first way to get the details from your client. And we've gone through what actually happens in iGyro, so creating the job. And the next one is sending a link directly to your client. So you might want to paste a link into some email correspondence. So I'll shoot back to our website again. And it's just a hidden page here that we've created. Everyone will have one. So if you're, say, Coffs Coast, It's simply inh.com.au/coffscoast/survey. All right, so if you go to that URL, it'll direct you through to this very long one, but that first URL is a lot nicer than this big random bunch of characters here. And essentially it's at that point where the client is ready to fill out the details for you. Because you've given them a link like this, their details need to be entered. So these first two methods, so from the contact page and also from this link that I just showed you, this is for a brand new client. You haven't entered Gyro into the system, and that's the only time that you would use those methods. So I'll just show you that again. So inh.com.au/business name. This is actually your website URL to that point, and just the word survey at the end, /survey. And that's what you should end up with. All right, so that was the second method, pretty straightforward. We'll jump back into Gyro again, into the portal. And let's just create a new job. So we go back to jobs. We'll create a brand new job. So we'll just call this client webinar test, and we'll save that. All right, so we've created our own job as per usual in this system here. And what we can do at this point then is create a new survey. It's called survey instead of client questionnaire or help us help you, just because we're reserving this. We may have additional different types of surveys in the future. So we're just generically calling it survey at this point. So create a new survey. So that'll create an empty survey for us. So at this point, if we click on that, this is the empty survey and it allows you to type it in. So you could just provide that link directly to the client if you wanted to, and they can complete the rest of the details for you on their job that's already in Gyro. Otherwise, you can grab the URL from the top of that URL there by copying that, or you can just right click and copy the link. So you might do that if you've already got the job in here and you don't want them to create another job by sending them that survey directly from the website. Okay, once you've got this survey sitting here, we've got a send survey button. So we click on that. Pretty quickly, you'll just get this message to say the survey has been sent. And this is using Gyro to send this link out to your client. So I'll just hit OK there. Just got a question from Anne. Do we need to use Microsoft Edge or use Chrome? Anything, Anne, so it doesn't really matter what it is. It can be Chrome, can be Safari on your phone, Edge, Internet Explorer, Firefox, whatever works for you. All right, so I've just sent that email through. I'll see if we've got that yet. Just be a minute before that comes through. It hasn't quite come through yet, but I'll just show you what that email will look like. Probably the reason why it hasn't gone is because I haven't provided an email address to this client. So I'd better do that. Save that. And I'll send that again. All right, so when that comes through, we'll get an email like this, or the client will get an email like this, I should say. So help us help you get started sooner, and just giving them a link to complete the form. All right, so if the client clicks on this link, they'll be taken straight to this form, and all the details will turn directly up onto that job that we just clicked from. So I haven't got the actual email from there, so I need to wait for that one. Here it is. So I'll try that again, complete form. All right, let's put this detail in. All right, I'll just get a generic message there. Just thank you for completing the survey. All right, so what we'll notice now, if we refresh that page, it'll give us a date complete for that survey instead of having the send button. And if we click on this link here, we've got the answers from the client. All right, so at this point, that's pretty much all we need to do. It's sort of up to you to follow the client on. So hopefully that's qualifying the client for you and saves you a lot of hassle trying to send out those physical forms that we've had previously. So just something to note here as well, that you can send an additional survey here. So if they've already completed this one and for some reason you need them to do it again, you can click on that new survey. It'll create another one, another blank one, and you can send that in exactly the same way. All right, so we shoot back to jobs. We've got our 2 clients here that have completed that questionnaire. So when you're trying to maintain your prospects, you've obviously got just your regular prospects that have gone in with not much else, not much more than a first contact. We've got our interested clients where you might physically mark them off as an interested client. But you've also got these jobs where they've completed that client questionnaire for you. All right, and the next logical step is marking off a prelim service fee paid for them. Alrighty, well that's the 3 ways you can use that client survey. So hopefully everyone will be able to make use of these. The good thing is that this is already turned on for all of our businesses. So it's connected up to the website already. You don't need to do anything. If for some reason you'd like to opt out, let me know and I can turn that off. But all of these features we've gone through today are ready to go. All right, if there's any last questions, let me know. What's in the chats here? I've got a question from Darren. Will it work for Renos? Yeah, so it can work with Renos. Yeah, so I don't think there's much difference there, Darren. I guess it probably depends on the questions you'd like to enter for that. If you've got a different set of questions that wouldn't really apply, let me know and we can see if we can work that in. And you're also asking whether it can be linked into RT Digital Form. So RT Digital Form, I'm assuming, Darren, there that you're talking about the email marketing system, so you'd like to link it from an email. And again, that's perfectly possible. So all of those links that we created in here, you can provide. So in your case, you'd actually use the one from your website. So it would be inh.com.au/Brisbane. So this is the link that you would provide in your rich training emails or any other email marketing system. And if anyone clicks on that, they'll be creating a job directly into your iGyro system. I've got another question there from Deepak. So is this something like a CRM? And yes, Deepak, I guess that's exactly what it is. So iGyro manages lots of things. You're building business, but this section we're also calling out CRM as well. So it's maintaining your relationships with your clients there. Deepak's also got a question about signing contracts online e-signatures. So we have covered that in a previous webinar there, Deepak. We're using DocuSign to do a lot of that. So there's some good resources I can point you to later. All right, we've gone through a bit there. Looks like we've gone to the end of our questions there. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining. I'll put all this detail together and add this into a Heights lesson as well. So if you've got any questions, let me know or wait for that Heights lesson to go through. Thanks for joining us and we'll see you again in a fortnight.